Welcome back, softies, for another episode of the Soft Knocks podcast.
Welcome to the fucking show.
That was the worst thing that could happen, actually. Well, not the worst. The worst would have been 1-2. Well, it gives a topic at least. I'm seriously don't know what I do. Are we on?
Yeah,
we're on. Welcome back, softies.
Got another riveting episode.
Yes.
We just got done selecting the order in which we're picking draft slots for the League of Record. It's just me and Frankie over here, which we're going to catch some flack from everyone else thinking we somehow cheated. Although I ended up with pick spot 8, so I wouldn't cheat.
They're going to say I cheated because I have number 1, but
They're going to say it's fake.
We
videotaped it, though.
We did videotape, but I don't know if I want.
Turns out we have a YouTube channel if you want to watch it. It's a riveting 2-minute video of a bingo ball machine spitting out B1 through 12.
How we do it is we don't necessarily have the spot that you're picked. So I got the first pick, or the first option to pick my draft order, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to have the number 1 pick.
So Frankie
So I could, if I wanted to get the 5th pick, I could do that. I just have the first
If you just wanted to make it challenging, you
Yeah.
could just say, like, I'm just going to pick 6th.
Yeah, like, I'm too good for these guys.
Like, I don't need any of the top 5 players.
Spoiler alert, I'm not going to do that. But I really may not take the number 1 because I actually have been lucky. I've gotten the number 1 pick a few times, and I don't think it's ever worked out for me. There's always been one of them gotten injured.
I think
Barkley I had once, McCaffrey I had.
I think the
twice,
biggest, everybody says that it's not even close. The number 1 pick is Christian McCaffrey. And if he has the season he had last year,
if that was a huge season,
then that would be true. But that's not how things always work out. He does have a calf injury right now, which is what he also had at the end of last year before the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like the NFL playoffs, not the fantasy playoffs.
Christian McCaffrey. Bad calf. Get it? Get it?
It'd be hard to take someone else. Him compared to the rest of the players he was unquestionably the best.
Not to interrupt you, but the group chat is blowing up. First of all, David wants you to face the fucking balls. The ping pong or the whatever he wants the camera on you, I guess. I don't know. They're somehow saying this is fake.
Like somehow randomly there's some fake video with all of our names in like exact reverse standing order.
Jeff can't read it. It's too blurry.
Tell him to wait to the end of it because the end of it has a freaking recap.
Wait for the big recap.
It doesn't matter because it's over and done with. I'm not redoing it.
Yeah.
This is excellent radio content.
Well, I'm open if anyone wants to email me, tell me what I should do. Do I take the number 1 pick? Or
what do you mean?
They can write into the show and tell me what to do.
Yeah, use the text, the fan mail text
tell me
option in the show
what I
notes.
need to do. Because I'm going to be honest with you, we were just talking about I like Breece Hall quite a bit this year.
Frankie is going to be DMing Matthew Berry and every other fantasy analyst on Twitter trying to get advice.
I will, because I do not
Look,
like...
I think you have 2 ways you can play it.
I don't like that he has a calf injury already. Those linger.
Well, all right, first of all, there's a few things you can do. All right? So one, you can just take McCaffrey. This calf injury may just be we're going to hold him out of preseason anyway, so whatever. You don't really know.
Yeah.
So you could just take McCaffrey, be done with it, picks over, you're already done. You don't even have to think about it.
It's the safe.
Yeah.
I guess safe.
You're a Dallas Cowboys fan. You could take CeeDee Lamb.
Which I think he's going to have a huge year, but...
PPR league.
But there's something about the lack of depth at the running back position. And there is more depth at that receiver position.
CeeDee's still kind of pissed about his contract, right?
Well, yeah, I'm a little worried about that. Yeah, they need to get that shit taken care of.
You could also
trade the pick.
Trade the pick. Like, that's something we've never really done in our league, but it's been talked about, and technically there's already been a trade done. I'll have to dig through the text to make it happen.
Anthony brought that up to me the other day. He's like, "What'd you think of that?" Like, when he first said it, I could, because he's getting that extra keeper option, right?
Yes,
it was like
that's the only benefit, but it's not a benefit.
So how would I trade a number one pick? I would have to, if I wanted like the 4th pick. Is it just a straight? But that wouldn't make sense for me, right? Like
well, you could try and convince someone else to say like, I want your 4th pick overall and your, I don't know, 8th round pick.
But then I'd have to give something to even it, because you got to have even rosters, right?
Yeah, so you would have to give up your 16th round to him or something like that. You could do some weird swap like that to move down, maybe. I don't know.
I'm in control of this fucking draft. I get.
Yeah, you're the commissioner. You really in
more than one way. Oh, this is exciting.
But I don't know. Like, I don't know how you don't. Like, you could also just like, you could just say like, I don't want to make the decision, and just take the 3rd pick and just let the first 2 go, and you end up with whatever's left. It could be Breece Hall, it could be Tyreek, it could be CD. You know.
Of all people, Jeff says he's pleased. So, all right. Well.
I will say that like the way we normally do this is, it's like, so last year was like the first year we did it early. Mm-hmm. But it was like your daughter's drawn out of a hat, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's actually less random when they're drawn out of a hat.
No, this is very fair. It's just they'll bitch about anything. I mean,
yeah. In fact, I think they probably like the fact that we did it this way, just so that they can bitch about it.
Just like they bitched when we were always talking about doing a podcast, but now that we're doing one, they're still bitching.
Yeah,
so
yes. They'll make fun of you for saying you won't do it. Then when you call them on your bluff and you record
it's terrible.
20 plus episodes, they still bitch about it.
Mm. No, I like this. I like. I am going to think about this though. I don't know what I'll do yet. I think it's because I've been burned by McCaffrey before. I've had him, and each time I've had him, he had some nagging injury all year.
Look, all right,
but he is the best.
I think that if I was in your position, I would just take McCaffrey. I think that's what I would do. But the other side of that is he did have a giant workload last year. Mm-hmm. I mean, they just ran him into the ground. Now they
kind of surprised me.
They paid him.
Yeah.
Right? You know, they drafted another running back, but you know what? Everybody drafts these people for depth. But
I believe he was paid before last year, right? Like
yeah.
So
I mean, he's paid. Like he's not like waiting on anything. But like he very well could decline. He's what is he?
He's 28. I looked at that.
20, does he turn 29 this year? I think
I didn't see that,
this
but
year. So he's getting up there for a guy that's had big workloads.
I have to believe that they, no matter what, they're not going to give him that kind of touches. I wouldn't think.
It probably doesn't take that much for him to have great games.
That's what I mean. Like that's what's good about him. He's a big play guy. Anytime he touches, and he catches. He's like a receiver too. So.
Yeah. Father Time is undefeated. So at some point,
he's not ancient yet.
I don't think it's this year, but I mean, it wouldn't. Would it be the biggest surprise ever if he had some sort of like a couple different nagging injuries and just had a above average year as opposed to like an incredible year?
That's what I'm wondering, because I do like Breece Hall quite a bit, but I mean he was awesome last year with no quarterback play.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm talking all this. I'll probably just take McCaffrey.
And he went to running back you.
Yeah. I think that's what puts him down in my book, is because you're a Cyclone fan. But he is good. And then there's talk of, I think it's too risky, but Bijan with the new coaching staff should be a lot better.
Yeah. They talk like, well, first of all, they talked like this last year about Bijan. And
Who knew Arthur Smith was, he didn't even hardly use the guy.
You assume that they're going to make use of him this year, but who knows?
I did read that they are still planning on using Algier quite a bit, but not, I don't think, as much as last year. I don't know.
It is. It's hard to know for sure. I mean, you can't know for sure what's going to happen.
The sickest thing is I could have had Kyron Williams as a keeper.
You shouldn't. I guess like the injury stuff, it's hard to say. Like you can't really like predict injuries, so you can't be like, oh, you know, this guy's injury prone, because McCaffrey, like, he can't be injury prone because he's had such incredible seasons that he's the number one pick over and over again. So, I don't know. I think if I were you, I would just suck it up and I would take McCaffrey, and I would start figuring out who my second and third pick are.
Mm-hmm. And I have a very mediocre keeper, but he is like a flex play. Another running back.
Yeah.
In Warren. I don't think it's a big secret that I'd be leaning receiver with the next pick. Yeah. So, and that receiver, I was just finally looking at the list. It's pretty deep, the receiver group, really.
Yeah, receivers usually are like there's just so many more names.
I mean, there's those top 4 or 5 that are clearly the best, but right below that is pretty good.
What you have going for you is that you already get to start planning.
Yeah.
You're the only one who really gets to start planning what they want to do. Even if it is like you're going to go to a different pick spot. Mm-hmm. Like, you get to plan. Mm-hmm. Like, I have to wait for 7 other assholes to make up their mind.
Yeah, my dad's not going to be pleased, but that's all right.
I think, like, what I have going, like, what I have to think about is that, so at choice 8, the absolute worst, like, lowest spot I will be is
8.
8. And there are a couple guys I like around that spot, you know, that I wouldn't feel comfortable taking in the top 5. I do like
and somebody might slip. This league tends to reach a little.
Yeah, there probably will be some stuff like that, but like if I do just end up in pick 8, right? Like, because I would move further down probably if I could. Like, if I could move down to like 11, I would, or 10, I probably would. Take those 2 close top 15 picks.
Yeah, let's see here.
But like the pick 7, pick 8, there's some receivers there that I really like. You know, like Amon-Ra, he was great last year. AJ Brown probably be around there.
On my big board,
on the Frankie big board.
Frankie big board. My number 8 player is Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah,
but I could see Jeff, although there's a lot of Vikings fans. I don't know if Jefferson will get that far. We'll see.
To be perfectly honest,
you don't want him.
I don't know that I want him.
J.J. McCarthy has looked way better than I thought in camp.
There is no way they're going to start him until after the bye week.
This could be a cold take that you have.
It could be. Very well could be.
I kind of think they will start him.
No, I think Sam Darnold starts the year because they have a tough start. I think you give the shitty start to the fucking guy that's not going to be there next year.
To Lego head, Sam Darnold.
Yeah. What do I know, though?
Yeah, I mean, that you can't go too wrong. The top 10 guys are pretty good. I mean,
someone before me will probably jump down to 12.
Yeah, because they like the back-to-back.
And someone will probably jump down to 11. Mm-hmm. So I have to imagine that pick 8 could be as high as pick 6, which probably isn't so bad. No. It's kind of meh. It's probably me getting someone like
there's
JJ or Chase.
Chase and Bijan.
I would certainly take him there. So it's interesting at least. At least now we have something to talk about.
Yeah.
I can see the group chat going nuts.
Yeah, you type that to Anthony. He knows what we do. That's not necessarily the order. So Anthony he'd probably take 2, I would think.
I think especially this year, like if it was me and I'm in the definitely top 4, but I think even top 5, I'm just staying where I'm at or I'm moving up if some idiot moved down. McCaffrey, CeeDee, Tyreek Hill, Breece Hall, and then I think that's a top 4 easy, you know. And then if you want to stay, go Chase or JJ, I think you can. But I think if I'm in the top 4, I ain't moving off that.
They want me to make a decision now. I'm gonna think about it. What if McCaffrey's calf falls off tomorrow morning? I don't want to.
Well, then you don't have to draft him. The beauty of pick 1 is you can still draft whoever you want.
That's very true.
I'm just glad that we've got the text chat going again because, man, that's like a quick 30 text messages.
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
I know. I'm trying to read and do the show here, but it's good to know. I like that so I can set it before the draft day chaos, set the order. get the keepers in and all that.
Yeah, no one thinks about that. They just want to bitch about stuff. But poor Commissioner Frankie has to go through and set all this stuff.
My workload's so huge. Yeah. But it is nice to have it ready to go.
I'm not sold on my keeper option. I don't know if I'm going to keep Addison.
No?
I got to look at the stuff, but he might get suspended this year.
What do you have, an OWI?
Yeah. He's going to get suspended. It's just whether or not it's this year or next year.
Well, Rashee Rice did something worse, right? Didn't he?
I think he did a couple things.
Yeah.
Yes. He was drag racing, wrecked a car, caused an accident, and then left the scene.
What an off season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he got another fight, I think, down in Texas. He got in
a
bar fight or something.
So it's just a matter of when the NFL decides to bring the hammer. Frankly, if I was the Vikings, just knowing that I may start the year with Sam Darnold and we've got a rookie quarterback and if we come out and if they come out and they lose 4 out of their first 6 games, do they just go to Addison and go, hey, look, just take the 3 games?
Does he have a option to just take games?
No, but
what do you mean?
Not fight it, right? So if he fights it or something, if the NFL comes in and appeal and all that,
Yeah.
Or maybe the NFL is we're not going to suspend him this year because it won't do shit because you guys aren't doing shit this year. So they're going to just wait till next year.
How much will this hurt when the Vikings win that division?
They fire off 10 wins and the NFL's sorry, and it's Addison blows up.
I still think they'll be competitive. They got too much talent on that offense.
I'd like to think so. You just don't know with the quarterback play.
I know that is tough.
We know what Darnold is. This isn't his first team or his second team or his third team.
But there's always that in your mind, that dude was the number 1 pick. Maybe, just maybe, he's got something. Probably not, though. I think he is what he is at this point. That
would be great if he did just light the world on fire.
Well, it took Baker. Took Baker a few teams. I still don't think he's great, but he's serviceable.
Good for him. He got paid a little bit.
Yeah. Oh. All right. So what else is happening here? I did not get to watch Hard Knocks yet. Did you watch it?
I watched it. I don't think you really missed that much.
The only thing I saw is that your new quarterback carries a purse and paints his fingernails.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I didn't even see that part in Hard Knocks. I just saw it on Twitter. I saw a clip, but I didn't even see where it happened. I watched the episode.
They reposted it. He was at a desk talking to a coach, and he just picked up his purse and left.
No, it was all right. It was good to see. It's fun when it's your team. You see some of the training camp and all that. And
they always focus on the guy. I don't know if they did this year. Who's just not going to make it? Did they do that? Or was it
not really? I mean, the first game was the Hall of Fame game, and so it just felt a little light on content. The first episode. There wasn't a whole lot there. Really.
I'd rather they just follow the stars, but they don't always do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the stars get enough. And so they think they got to come up with some sort of Cinderella story.
Yeah. That never makes the team.
You know how rookies do the thing where they go down and introduce themselves and
so they have to sing or something.
Yeah. Caleb's was terrible. He didn't really put that much effort into it. He just told him, how much a signing bonus was and went on about his day. Some offensive lineman rookie sang that song Proud to be an American or something. American.
Lee Greenwood?
Or at least, yeah.
I know. Yeah. Or I think that's his name, Lee.
And he ripped his pants off and he had a bikini on with an eagle where his crotch is.
Oh, they had to go nuts.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was great. But it was, other than that, there wasn't a whole lot on it.
I think I saw the Eagles made Cooper DeJean sing an Eminem song. It's the white cornerback. I bet he gets picked on early
from his own teammates, but I bet he gets some hard hits and blocks on the NFL field.
Yeah.
But it's definitely good to have football back.
It is. There's just so much more to talk about. And
I mean, the preseason's on. Like it's Thursday night. There's preseason games on. Mm-hmm. Although it's the first one, and anymore they don't really. A lot of times they don't play any of these guys.
I was surprised. I saw that Josh Allen and Joe Burrow are both playing tomorrow for a quarter or so.
Whew.
Let's get those injuries out now.
Yeah. What do you think about this Ayuk deal?
I don't think he's. I mean, he's good. I don't know if I'd pay him what he wants.
I've never I had him on a team last year.
He's a good player, but I don't think he's like a Lamb or Jefferson or
he helped me quite a bit, win some money, but he's always been. I don't know. He's not the guy I would be like no one's drafting him in the first round. No one's going I'm going to take him with
fantasy purposes.
Chase,
no. I just don't. And I assume he wants to be paid with those top 5 guys. I just don't think he's worth that system with all their weapons. I don't know if they'd. I don't think they'd miss a beat, honestly.
Yeah, and I just don't. I don't think the 49ers. I don't know. They've been pretty good at finding talent when they need to. I think he's a good example of that. To be honest, would he have had the years that he's had so far? Would he have had the career he's had if he didn't play there?
The truth, he hasn't had a great career. He's been good, but I don't think he's an elite guy. I don't know.
But he wants to get paid like it.
I could see why they'd want to trade him.
I think he wants $30 million a year.
Yeah. See, I don't think. I mean, what's Jefferson's the top at 34? I think, or 33. I don't think he's worth that. But
they're talking.
What the hell do I know?
They're allowing him to seek trades, but he has to find a team there has to be a deal that the 49ers want, and the team that he's getting traded to also has to agree to do a contract with him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I saw the Patriots and the Browns were the two talked about last week, and
I think the Steelers are in potentially. But I think the problem is trying to get both sides to meet, right? The Patriots were like we'll pay you, but we're not going to send the farm to 49ers, and also. There was a rumor that he said I don't want to play for the Patriots.
Well, dude, what do you want?
I don't know. I mean, the Patriots wouldn't be a bad spot.
No,
they're not going to win this year.
They got a young quarterback.
But they have 2 good young quarterbacks. Yeah. And
who's the other one?
Milton.
Milton.
He's a late 6th round pick.
Oh,
I think.
Okay.
But I guess he's been pretty good at camp. I think it's Joe Milton.
Okay.
Evidently, he's got a rocket for an arm, and he's been out playing May.
Really?
You go there and you're not going to win this year, but next year, the year after,
no,
these young guys
wouldn't be a bad spot if they're willing to pay you. Jesus.
Yeah. Cleveland was I think they were talking sending Amari Cooper back to.
They were. I was just going to bring that up. If I was, because he's on his last.
Yeah.
So it'd be a rental for the Niners, but he would be awesome for the Niners.
Yeah.
He's bad.
They don't miss a beat there.
I think he's just as good as Ayuk.
Probably
better. For
with
1
good
year
quarterback play.
For a 1 year rental for the Niners, that would be really good, I think, for them.
Well, maybe Cleveland doesn't want to pay Ayuk what he wants. So it's how do you get both sides done?
No.
Pittsburgh is now rumored in there, but I don't know what they would part with to.
It seems like they'd want a receiver back, it sounds like, and I don't know who they're not going to give Pickens. He's kind of who they're banking on, I think. And I don't even know who else they got.
I don't know.
Johnson's gone.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. But that's one where it's he was a pretty decent fantasy play last year. You didn't have to pay first round price for him, but now, let's say he does get traded. At this point, how do you learn the new offense? How long does it take to get acclimated? Get rapport with the quarterback. Which team does he go to?
Yeah, I still kind of think he'll just come back to the Niners, but I don't know.
We'll see. if it was about winning championships, that's where you would stay. You would sign a deal with them, unless it's some egregious low ball offer.
But let's be real, these guys.
Yeah,
They want to get that. they get that one payday.
They can buy a lot of rings with that money.
And that's why I completely understand what Lamb's doing. I mean, this is their chance to get that one contract.
Yeah, but how do you like to be CeeDee Lamb, right? So like, yeah, you are like, you're an elite. Like, you're one of the top 2 to 3, 4 guys, right, in the NFL at your position. And you start seeing these guys get paid. You see guys like Tyreek Hill gets paid, and he wasn't even up for a contract.
No, they just didn't.
They didn't give him any more years. They just said, hey, you know what? Here's a raise.
Oh, Dallas is...
We know you got a big family to take care of.
Huge family. Keeps growing.
CeeDee Lamb's back there, and like old Jerry. Man, he's not. It's like, I ain't paying you.
It's like, put down the Johnny Walker, Jerry. Let's figure this out. Yeah, no, they've played this thing. They should have tried to sign him before Jefferson.
When does he first get a chance at being a free agent?
It was like Jefferson, the same draft. I think this is his last year of his contract.
So next year they will, of course, just franchise him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you technically could franchise him a couple times, I think.
Yeah. And he'll get paid. He just won't have the years.
No, he's going to get paid. It's just, I just hope it doesn't drag out until like the first week of the season.
Yeah.
I think you need some kind of training camp. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think, like, you're probably right. Like, Ayuk will probably just end up staying in San Francisco, and hopefully, for people who end up drafting him and it doesn't, like, he's not like just like pissed off the whole time. Got to play for that next contract, so you don't want to be too big of an asshole.
Yeah, no, he still has incentive to play. I think he'll stay there though. We'll see.
I mean, there's been a few big injuries so far in camp, but nothing super crazy. I think Rondell Moore
looked pretty bad. Yeah. There's been like nagging ones, like we said, McCaffrey, and then Puka Nacua.
What do you think about that? Like, a lot of the rankings I've seen like have him right up there.
Oh, he's way up there.
End of the first, top of the second.
I believe he's ranked. There. I've seen some have had him ahead of like AJ Brown and stuff. I don't know if He was awesome last year, but
do you think? All right, so Cooper Kupp's not going to be like 35% target share Cooper Kupp probably ever again. But
no, but he's
still good.
Kind of value right now where they got him. I think he's very good. He was plagued by injury last year.
He was injured to start the year.
Yeah,
because he was in like the 3rd round or something. Because you knew he was going to miss some.
He was going to miss like the first 4 weeks. I think they knew, or 3 weeks, 3 or 4. No, he's still a stud. He's not that old.
I might be a real good team this year offensively. Kyron and then those two.
Every time I see that guy, I get sad. I really do. It's just, I need to get over it, but I can't. Is it bad? I'm hoping he gets hurt right away.
Little bad, I guess.
Or every now and then I hear people say, "Oh, Blake Corum's going to cut into that," and I'm like, "Please do," so it doesn't hurt me as much. But yeah, no, that team looks. I mean, they lost Donald on defense, but their offense looks loaded. I'm ready to get it going here. Only a few more.
Lots of it on. There's preseason games tonight, tomorrow, Saturday.
Yeah. Do you get the ticket, or do you just watch the locals?
The Bears are
always on, I guess.
Quite a number of times, and
We need to come to my dad's man cave. Get the 6 TVs lit up.
I remember the first time that I watched football over there. You got the big screen with 2 little screens underneath it, and you got double that setup. So you have 6 TVs, and I was always amazed that he had DirecTV, and he had 6 receivers for DirecTV. You
should have seen the DirecTV guy. His mind was blown.
So you could watch 6 different football games, which would be great, except like if the Cowboys were on, 4 of those TVs were the Dallas Cowboy games. So it was like, what was the point?
Yeah, the YouTube TV. So now we just have a bunch of like Fire Sticks or Rokus.
Yeah.
And just stream.
Oh yeah, and then with the 4K upgrade, you can have as many streams as you want.
Yeah, we get all the streams you want.
Yeah, it's much more cost effective.
Moving topics. How'd your pre-birthday party go?
It was good.
I was there too. I had a great time, but I'm just asking you.
We celebrated early. Like, my birthday's not for another month month and a half, something like that. But we were trying to do something with the four of us that we all turned 40 over the summer. 2 of us in September, and two of them were at the end of July. And so it was like trying to find a date, like, trying to get a group of people together like on a date that works for everybody was a nightmare. We were throwing on dates for like a week trying to figure out a time frame to do this stuff. So yeah, no, it was good. We had a keg of beer, which quite honestly, economically, it doesn't make any sense anymore. So I went up to Hy-Vee and I got some red Solo cups, like 3 bags of ice, and a keg of beer. We had a tapper, so we didn't have to rent a tapper, and didn't have to rent like a tub or anything. Just the keg of Busch Light. The bill for that stuff, backing out the keg deposit because I got that back, was $220. The keg of a full 16-gallon keg of beer is like $180 or $190. The last time I think I bought a full keg, I think it was like $85 or $90 for it.
Yeah, I've not bought a full one in a long time, but yeah, that's quite a bit.
I was surprised.
We got through it though. I got there later, but it was it was almost floating when I got there.
Yeah. We sat around, like it was fun. We like my parents made it out, like their parents and stuff came out, and it was hot as balls outside though.
It was very hot.
We were sitting outside all day. We had local barbecue, Smokey D's cater it, so we had them make
maybe
food
our sponsor,
for like 50 people. It would be awesome. Probably bought too much food, but
that was good.
You always want to overbuy, you don't want to underbuy.
The best thing is right when I walked in, like, you're from the podcast.
Yeah. It's like, some of those guys actually.
It was a handful of our fans.
Yeah. Some of those guys actually listen. And like, right when you got there, like Justin's like, "Oh, you want a shot?"
Yeah.
You go up and it's like fancy, like 1942 Don Julio.
It was almost gone too.
Yeah, they went through that bottle, that whole thing. I can't do it. I can't sit around and do a bunch of tequila. I think I only had a couple of those shots.
Oh, I can't. Yeah, liquor, period. I just need to stick to beer on days like that.
We had a piñata
filled with
shooters.
Was it Jim Beam or something, or Jack? I can't remember.
It was those like 99 bananas, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, and apples. That was pretty rough.
That was a good time. Like, I think I got there at like 1:30 in the afternoon, and then we left at like, I don't know what time was it, like 10:30, 11?
11, I think.
Yeah. But it was, an all-day affair.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of the Olympic golf?
Yeah. The meltdown of John Rahm?
Yeah. I won't spend too much time on it, but boy, after 9 holes, it looked like he had that thing in the bag. He was 4 shots clear of everyone else, and then he's
had a rough time ever since he took that live money.
Yeah.
I mean, rough time. He's still got a lot of money, but
he gave it back, and it was actually pretty good golf there. That back 9, like trying to figure out who's gonna actually win the thing. I was kind of surprised because it's it's a limited field. It's there's only 4 Americans in the field, so
yeah. But it was good to see Scotty.
Yeah. Gold medal probably sealed up him for golfer of the year.
Yeah.
If that's an actual thing or not, I don't know.
Yeah, he's had quite a year. Got arrested even.
I know there was like a tweet or a meme where it was like, goes from incarcerated to gold medalist in the same year.
God bless America.
Yeah.
Other than that, I saw the men's basketball team damn near lost to Serbia. Yeah, Serbia.
I'm gonna bitch a little bit about the fucking internet service, cell phone service in my building at work. So I was at the office today, and was checking Twitter, and DraftKings sent out a tweet when America was down by like 18 points or whatever it was.
They were, yeah. I
was like, shit, they're not going to lose that game. I should go bet on this. I should bet on this. But
you should tell your work that they cost you money.
My internet, like the Wi-Fi at work, like it's not local. Like it's routed through, I think it's Minneapolis. So, like I can't bet through DraftKings because of that. So like I switch it over to cellular network, and I just get no cell reception in that building, and so it won't connect or anything. So I was like, whatever. I got other stuff to do, but.
You should have called me. We split it.
Oh, I didn't even think about the fact that I could have just called you.
Yeah, because I didn't. I saw they were up by like 5 with a minute to go. I'm like, oh, that was closer than I thought. I didn't know they were down by 18 or 17.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna live bet this thing because I think DraftKings tweet was like they're down by 18 and who they played Serbia, and Serbia is still plus money.
Really? So they knew.
But like I'm sure the minus side of that wasn't terrible. You know? It was probably the best odds you were going to get on the U.S. to win that game.
And that was Serbia's got Jokic, who probably is the best player in the world. So if they were going to lose, that was probably the game. But still, it's kind of crazy they were down that much to a bunch of white guys from Serbia. I mean,
yeah. I haven't really paid a whole lot of attention to the rest of the Olympics.
No, I've had it on in the background, just something to watch, but nothing. I can only get so excited about diving and
on Hard Knocks,
gymnastics.
On Hard Knocks, Simone Biles' husband plays for the Bears.
Jonathan Owen?
Yeah, so...
I thought he was a Packer.
The Bears let him out of part of training camp so he could go over and watch some of the Olympics and stuff. So like there was some of that was in there. That was one of the little storylines.
Was he not a Packer, or did they sign him in the offseason?
I don't know.
I could have sworn he was. But maybe.
I don't know. He doesn't score me any fantasy points, so I couldn't.
Yeah, we don't pay attention to defense. All right, movie of the week. The Sylvester Stallone classic, Over the Top. You said you'd never seen this?
Never seen it.
That
Didn't
surprised
even know. The only plot point I knew is that it involved arm wrestling. Did not know.
It's really the only plot point you needed to know.
I am. It's a pretty good movie. I'm a little torn on some parts on how good it really is or isn't. I will say.
Well, it's not a fucking Oscar winner, but
I am thoroughly enjoying Sylvester Stallone movies.
I love him. He's my favorite actor, bar none.
Fucking treasure.
He is. I'll be sad when he's gone or when he's done doing movies.
Yeah,
I don't think he will be until he's dead.
The plot of this movie is kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's an arm wrestling movie.
Yeah, I'm failing to see why that's ridiculous.
I mean, was this a thing? Is this a thing?
I think it is.
Do they have arm wrestling?
The Bears' backup quarterback's dad, Bajent, is like the best was the best in the world. It's a thing. Now, I don't know if it's to this extreme of a thing. I don't know, but one of the notes on it was like it brought the sport of arm wrestling to a forefront. I don't know.
It starts out. And you get like Stallone in a trucker hat, like rolling through the mountains or whatever.
Just looking cool as shit.
Yeah. Like he like stops, he's like washing his truck, like spit shining it, cleaning the tires.
And his skin is glistening the entire movie.
Yeah, he's sweaty in the movie.
Do you think they like throw water on him?
I think it's like olive oil.
They just oil him up before the scene. Yes. Really, all of his movies, he's pretty oily.
Yeah.
Gets the muscles rippled.
He like rolls into this like military academy
it's like for like a military school for kids, right?
Yeah. And he rolls up to the gate, and now he's got his truck, and it has no trailer on it, and these people are like. Deliveries are in the back. Like, hey, come on, bud. There's what am I delivering here? Yeah. But he's like, oh, I'm here to pick up, a cadet.
It's just showing that they pick on the truck driver.
Yeah. And then like he's walking up, and people are like just astounded at like this guy. Like, why is this simpleton here? Mm-hmm. You meet his kid. Kid's a real piece of work.
10 minutes into this movie, and this kid is the most annoying movie character I think I've ever seen. I couldn't stand him. Mike.
Speaking of Mike, little tidbit here. I'll drop it early, but little tidbit. So there's an inside joke with the writers when they named him. So the guy's last name is Hawk.
Mike Hawk.
So they named him Michael Hawk. Mike Hawk.
Yeah, that's good.
Mike Hawk.
Classic.
Yeah. Gotta get a good old dick joke in there.
But Sly's name in it, Lincoln Hawk, is one of the coolest names I've ever heard in my life. I think that is my favorite movie name.
It's like they went and said, all right,
Lincoln
Hawk is
Hawk.
a great car, and a hawk is a great bird. Just gonna name him Lincoln Hawk.
And he had that big,
like the hawk hood.
What do you call it? The hood ornament or emblem? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just Lincoln Hawk. It's just, if I had a son,
we name him Lincoln.
Middle name Hawk. But seriously, I just love that name, Lincoln Hawk.
He goes into like the colonel's office. Mm-hmm. The cadet, his son, comes up, and he figures out what's going on. And it's like, I guess Hawk has been absent from his entire life. And
go ahead.
He asks him. He goes, "Can I see some identification?" And his identification is just a wedding photo.
Yeah. I'm just going to carry a picture of me and JD around.
You go to the grocery store, you're buying beer, like, sir, I need to see some ID.
It's just me at my wedding. Here. Does this prove I'm old enough?
Yeah.
I think it does.
That little shit doesn't want to go, has to go, gets in this truck, and then, they don't even get very far. And the kid wants out of the truck, and he's like running across a freaking interstate. Like, this kid needs to be slapped around a little bit.
My kids were still up when I started this last night, and I've seen it many times, but I can't remember, why did he pick the kid up? Because he never really knew the kid, right?
Yeah, I don't think they explicitly said.
Now, I know the mom was sick.
Was that I think what they're trying to get across is that I don't think she necessarily wanted the kid to just live with her dad forever.
Yeah.
She wanted him to know his dad and for Hawk to stick around and be a part of his life. And so I think it was like the idea was, pick him up from school, bring him to the school was in Colorado, bring him to California. It takes a couple days. You have a chance to get to know each other.
And it also kind of confused me that he called his wife, who I assume he has not. Like, he hasn't been with her, right?
Yeah.
He's like still calling her like, "Hey, honey, how you doing?" Like, not like it's like you've been gone our whole life. Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
No anger there. No, I don't know.
Not.
She's like, "Your name's cool enough."
Yeah.
Hold no resentment. But so he wrangles the kid in the truck. Finally, they stop at a diner, and this is where.
I want to go to this diner. Like, what the fuck?
This is where I'm wondering, like, is there...
This is a diner or a bar?
Yeah, do truckers have an underground arm wrestling federation?
Like, I'm getting the impression that they do.
Like, the other truckers knew him, like...
Yeah.
As the up-and-coming, like, yeah, this is the guy.
Like, I've been to a couple diners, right? Never been to one where, like, in the back room... It's like a full-on bar, and they've got an arm wrestling table, like regulation size, like set up right there.
I think more bars need this.
Yeah. And the movie was made in '87, I think.
It was '87, I think.
And like a guy challenges them for $1,000, and today's money, like I don't be able to do the math, but I bet that's like 10, 20 grand.
That much, you think? I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like some crazy dude just came up to him. It's like, "I heard about you." And then, like, "Let's go to the table in the back of the diner."
Best name, though. Smasher.
Yeah, that's right.
Just slap. That's just like, fuck yeah.
We have a smasher in our fantasy league.
Yeah. I just like the whole scene, like the idea that this guy takes his kid that he just met. He's like, oh, go to this diner to have a good steak there, and some rando like stops him and like ropes him into a arm wrestling bout, and there's like 50 people around like cheering him on and stuff. Like that's just doesn't.
Yeah, it's like my dream being challenged in a diner by a guy named Smasher to an arm wrestling contest in front of my kid. That would be awesome.
I'm gonna make sure that Asher challenges you to an arm wrestling at the draft.
The draft.
In front of your kids.
Oh, God.
So they can be disappointed in you.
Yet again. Yeah. I should get an arm wrestling table for the draft. With the handle.
That's how we do draft order next year. It's a round robin tournament.
Oh, but truck driver life looks pretty cool. I kind of want to be one.
I think you can be.
I know. Well, you're away from home quite a bit, but
is that
a
positive or a negative?
I mean, fuck. Lincoln Hawk didn't see his kid his whole life.
At this point in the movie, though, like Hawk kind of comes off like he's got a great name. He's obviously he's muscular, looks like a badass, whatever, but he's kind of comes off like soft spoken. He's kind of listening to some soft music. Like he's like almost like too timid. Like I expect
he's not real
him to
confident in himself.
Yeah, I expect him to be like more, like confident and I don't know. Maybe that's like the whole deal.
I think
like
that's
he
the
gets
deal.
that way when he arm wrestles, but only when he arm wrestles or something.
I think it is. He gets that way. He starts to fight for his kid to be there for him, and
maybe
this is a deep movie, man.
It was an hour and a half long. Good
time,
good length. More than half of that, like it feels like 2/3 of that is kind of this family stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's a kind of a deep movie.
There should have been more arm wrestling.
As deep as an arm wrestling movie can be.
Yeah, I guess.
The funniest part to me was, well, first of all, the morning workout session with his truck. He's
well, the night before too. It's like they just
pull
pull off the road, and he's like his kid's like, "Why are you stopping?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm tired. Time to sleep." Mm-hmm. He's like, "I don't see a hotel." Well, we'll just sleep in the truck. A lot of truckers do it. And he's just like...
They usually have lot lizards in there with them.
I was thinking, a lot of these trucks, like, don't they have, like...
A bed
like a sleeping area?
Yeah.
No, not his. It's just a cab.
He's like, you can lay on my shoulder if you want. You want
a little awkward, a little weird.
It's like, dude, I never met you before.
Yeah, like, we just met yesterday. And they just like sleep in the truck, and they wake up and like he's sleeping on the kid's shoulder.
Yeah,
and then
then they work out.
Before they go to sleep, he goes, "Maybe in the morning we'll do some exercise."
Yeah, what a weird thing. My dad has never said that to me. And the morning workout scene just oozed 80s. I think it was like an Eddie Money song or something.
It was like a montage, And like all the exercises are just like the one arm for like
anything that involves the truck.
It's all related to like arm wrestling.
And then when they're driving, like, who do I hire to rig a lap pull down machine in my truck?
Like, oh my god!
So look at this, Mike. He just pulled a lap machine down.
Yeah, it's like a cable machine. He's just doing like arm wrestling presses, and it's got like you can see the weights pulling up in the back. But it couldn't have been that much weight because then the kid does it.
Yeah, he did.
And I'm thinking like, oh man, if this kid looks like he weighs 40 pounds soaking wet, if he can do the same weight, then you're not getting any benefit from your hours and hours of truck pull downs or whatever.
Truck pull down. I'm gonna go to the Ford dealership and see if they can put that in my F-150.
You're gonna bring up the movie on like an iPad and say like, I want this.
This is exactly what I want.
How do I get this option?
That to me was the funniest part of the movie. Is he has this equipment in his driver's seat.
God, You think his right arm would just be totally jacked.
Yeah. Well, it is pretty jacked, but
yeah, but you think the left one would be a little less. Like it'd be off balance.
Oh. So yeah, you're right. There is not a ton of arm wrestling until the end, really.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
They focus on the family quite a bit.
Yeah, it is. Like it does. It is. It's almost like more about that than the arm wrestling.
But then they go to another diner or arcade.
Oh yeah.
And he gets his son into an arm wrestling match with a couple of local punks.
And again, this kid comes off as a little bitch.
Yeah.
Like he loses. He gets like Hawk. He's putting up $10 against these kids' $1, and which is a little light. I mean, he just won $1,000 at some other diner.
Yeah.
And best 2 out of 3.
Well, yeah, the kid went crying after he lost.
He lost his first match, and the kid gives up and goes running off.
And that led to the dramatic speech of "Life doesn't meet you halfway."
Yeah. Yes.
That was his big line.
Then he finally did call him like a spoiled brat. Said you've been handed everything. You hadn't worked for anything your entire life.
I did like that. That was a good speech. Got him fired up.
Should have backhanded him at the same time, though.
Now get back in there and lose to these guys again.
Get back in there and win me my $1. You're walking home.
Are you telling me your dad has never gotten you into an arm wrestling match at Chuck E. Cheese? I'm going to do that to Gianna.
Gianna probably...
She might like it, actually.
Like break someone's arm.
But yeah, of course, he goes back and he wins.
Yes.
Two in a row, and he's all
obvious.
hyped up. And then it takes a dark turn. Don't they call the mother?
Oh, yeah. Before we get to there,
okay.
Also, he let his kid just drive the big rig.
Oh, yeah, that was before.
On, some highway.
Mm-hmm.
Not winning any Parent of the Year awards.
He hasn't been there his whole life. I don't think he's...
I gotta let him do something cool, like maybe run us off this cliff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think the kid said something about, what a loser he is.
Because, you don't have any books in here.
He's...
Like it's some easy
Since
job.
You think I'm so dumb, why don't you drive this thing?
And to be honest, I don't think I could jump in a big rig and drive it. This kid could barely reach the pedals, though.
I don't know. It'd be kind of fun. I assume they're easier to drive now, right? Some advancements. I don't know.
Yep. Yes, they probably are a little more advanced than that thing out of the 60s that he was driving.
Although none of them have lat pull-down machines, so I don't know.
When does the kid get taken?
Yeah, the grandpa sends some goons. Right? The grandfather who wants to keep him.
The grandfather who...
The
first time I saw him, all I could think of is, dude, that's what's his name from Sopranos. Feech Lamont.
Yes. That dude, I love that guy as an actor.
Another one that must have always looked old.
Yeah.
Because this is from the
late 80s,
right?
Yeah.
And he looks the same age almost as he did in The Sopranos.
Robert Lagoya, I can't remember, Lagoya or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, he's always kind of a gangster type dude.
Yeah.
Ruthless.
I just kept thinking of how angry Feech would get in some of the Sopranos episodes, and then eventually he gets like that in this one.
What?
And it's like, oh yeah, there he is. There's Feech.
Yeah, that's his type.
But yeah, he sent a couple goons to, I guess you didn't really note it. It was just the kid was outside, and all of a sudden he's getting.
Yeah, they were on the phone.
They
were on the phone talking to the mom, I think, and then. Yeah, Lincoln's on the phone, and the kid is fucking around outside, and he just gets taken, which seems a little aggressive.
Yeah,
to snatch your grandson. I don't know.
Yeah. But of course, Hawk is able to fight off the guy that they left to mess with him,
mm-hmm.
and then he's able to get into his truck, which is a big rig, and somehow chase down this much more nimble. White pickup truck.
Yeah, he took out the truck and then got the kid.
Yeah, it was a bit much there. I don't know how necessary that scene really was, but
not sure how necessary the movie was, but I liked it.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you get to the mom passes, which
yeah. So then they finally get to California. They get to the hospital where the mom's at, and they find out that she's passed, and the kid's all pissed off because he would have been there already.
Yeah.
If he hadn't had to ride in the truck to get there, which she's not wrong.
If his dad didn't make him arm wrestle some people.
Yeah. But, he got to drive a big rig. He got,
won some money.
Yeah.
The whole mom relationship, like, I don't know why her and the dad were still that close if he hadn't been around for that long. That's what I didn't
I don't know. Like, it's hard to understand, but I think that the grandpa kind of drove a wedge in there, and Hawk, rather than deal with it, just left, which doesn't excuse anything. But you're right. Like, you don't think like the mother would be all that willing to be like, yeah, here, why don't you get to know your kid now that I'm dying? Like,
yeah,
you've left, you've been around, you haven't been around.
Like leaving him with a stranger, pretty much.
She didn't give her son any of the letters that he sent.
That's another thing. Was it her that didn't, or the grandpa?
I don't know.
Yeah. So there's some plot holes here, but
the kid takes off. Like, after that, the kid takes off in a taxi to his grandpa's house from the hospital.
So he's back.
Right?
He wants to be with the grandpa, I guess.
And so then, like, Hawk goes up there, and they don't let him in the gate, so he just fucking rams the gate.
Yeah, that was a little aggressive.
Drives right into the goddamn house.
$1 million house.
Yeah. Just breaks the door down
with
the
truck.
truck.
That was probably a poor decision.
Yes. And this is a scene where we get to see, like, Feach Lamont come out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it sounded like it was a scene out of The Sopranos, like the way he yelled at him.
Terry Funk, do you remember him? He's the old wrestler that was the goon with the curly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was the main goon of the grandpa.
Oh, yeah.
He did quite a few movies, but
it was just he gets arrested here, and I made a note, like, this whole, like, from him bashing the gate into the cops showing up or whatever was like all of like 5 minutes, and you don't see it, but you can hear it. They sent a helicopter. Like, it's just a sound effect, but it's like, did they really, like, someone was like, oh, we better put that chopper sound in there because obviously the police would be sending a helicopter to take care of this. But Hawk gets arrested. They sort of make the indecent proposal of, like, hey, like, relinquish your rights to your kid, and we won't press any charges.
Yeah, sent the lawyer in there or whatever.
Yeah. And it sounds like he accepted. He just said,
okay.
Excuse me. Sounds like
I hardly know the kid anyway.
Yeah. He's like, all right, I guess I can't do time anyway, so I got a arm wrestling thing to get to. And so he gets out and
sells his rig, right?
Yeah, drives to Vegas, sells his rig.
By the way, he only got $7,000 for that thing.
Yeah. Seems a little light.
Seems very light. Right? Yeah.
But he's a gambling man. He takes that $7,000 and puts it on himself.
All
win.
On him. 20-1, I think it was.
20-1. Like, do you think that's allowed at those things, to bet on, to gamble on the event? I mean, if that was any other sport, the answer would be no. You would not be able to gamble on the event.
Yourself?
Well, Pete Rose used to gamble on the Reds when he was managing the Reds.
This seemed a little shady. I don't think they checked.
He did.
They're like, wait, I need an ID. He pulls the wedding photo out again. That's all he's got.
So true. Like, I wrote down, like, so before he gets there, makes this bet and sells the truck, like, he's just driving to Vegas and he's just doing the lap pull down machine the whole way, man. He's just pumping iron that truck for that whole drive. That drive's probably like a couple hours, and he's just getting his.
I think you'd be fatigued.
Yeah, I think his arm would be worn out.
Would you put $7,000 on yourself in a golf tournament?
No.
20-1.
No. Those odds would be too light.
So you don't have the confidence of Lincoln Hawk, I guess.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, he got confident as the movie went. Yeah. Or maybe just desperate, I guess. That's all he had. That was his last chance.
And it's like at this point, like, so this competition starts, and like
hilarious dudes in this competition, just alpha males.
Once this movie got greenlit, they set up an actual over-the-top arm wrestling tournament. All right, the tournament was a real thing, and in fact,
it was a real thing.
That's where some of these scenes were shot, was in the actual tournament. Now, Stallone didn't participate in the actual tournament,
or the other actors, I assume.
Yeah, his scenes were the next day, but all the extras and stuff were the people who were at the tournament.
I did not see that. That's interesting.
Yeah, so this tournament, like, they get going on this thing, and like also you see they like flash back to the kid, and the kid finds all his letters, and now he's like, oh, my dad did care, even though he left.
He was sort of a piece of shit.
Yeah.
At least
he's only like half a piece of shit.
At least he wrote me letters.
So he jumps out of a window, which looked pretty high up.
I thought that too. That kid would have broke his leg.
Yeah, I was like, every other movie, and this would end in a broken ankle or a leg or something. But no, this kid just lands and takes off.
He lands like he's Mario. Like,
and steals a truck, right?
This is where I thought it got really ridiculous.
Yeah, steals a truck, and my first thought is, all right, let's assume that because his dad taught him how to drive a big rig, like, he can drive a truck, and this is just a little pickup truck. All right, we'll say that's okay. He gets out of there, and now he still has to be able to like find where he's going.
I was just gonna.
It's not like he can pull out his phone and bring up, Google Maps.
I couldn't get to the mall. I still have trouble with directions. I could not find the Las Vegas arm wrestling competition.
So it looks. I was like thinking that too. I was like, did he just drive to freaking Vegas? Mm-hmm. No, I think he went to the airport.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he went to the airport.
That doesn't change the fact that like, how the hell is he going to know how to get to the airport?
It does not change the ridiculousness.
No,
this kid just hops on the plane.
Yeah, I guess, And then he gets to Vegas, and they like see him getting off the plane. He runs back down the thing, and then like comes through like the luggage carousel.
Yeah, that whole journey was a bit much. I don't know.
Then he's like at the competition, like looking for his dad, and he's like hiding from like the guy like that must be running the tournament or something. And he's just like crawling around on the gross like popcorn and whatever else covered floor. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, this is where the movie got really ridiculous.
But it was also like the most action in the movie.
Yeah,
lots of arm wrestling.
This is where the arm wrestling really picked up. The other guys that he was wrestling were pretty. John Grizzly.
Yeah.
Did you see he was it a can of Valvoline motor oil?
Yes, I wrote that. Like, he just drank.
He
the guy, like, this is the same guy he lost to first, right?
Yeah.
Right. So
it's double elimination, evidently, in these things.
The guy is like smoking a cigar and just eats it.
He ate it.
A lit cigar.
I'm gonna do that at the draft.
I mean, like, I don't know how anybody would arm wrestle a guy. Like, you'd be so taken aback by this. Grossed out.
I think I'd rather do that than drink motor oil before.
Yeah, like, what is that supposed? Like, how is that guy not dead?
No. He had to pack that in his bag, like a can of motor oil.
What was with? So they show up to this tournament, right? And they're like scanning around the tournament, and they're just giving like background video and stuff. But like, what was with the people that had these like giant platform shoes? Did you see those?
Yeah, I did.
It was like they had like 9-inch soles on them.
The 80s, right?
Was that a thing?
I think so. Although I thought that was more 70s, I guess.
What a wild time, if that's true.
Should bring those back.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like 6'1", 6'2". Like, I'd just be 7 foot in those shoes.
Just click-clacking around. Like Rick James.
Rick James.
So they are competing for this awesome truck, right?
Yeah, a bunch of cash and a truck.
Like a gorgeous rig, is that what they call it? Yeah.
Because evidently this is big in the trucker world, evidently.
Yeah, it seems like they're all truckers.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think, does he find the kid before his match or after?
Well, it's like in the middle.
It's after he loses the first one, right? To that.
Yeah, he lost one, and but he'd won a couple. Like it was like well into the finals, you know. The kids like keep looking around, and he finds him. He's like over there like nursing his arm because Jesus, like all that arm wrestling, you'd think like you'd be just worn out.
Yeah.
If I arm wrestle someone once, like I'm done. I'm done for a week,
at least a week. And then he find the grandpa's. I can't remember now. The grandpa has a house office there, a suite. Yeah. And I believe he confronts him about.
Yeah. He sends one of his goons down to say, "Hey, like,
he wants to talk
to you up in his suite." And he goes up there, and he's at this point, even though he's already signed the like parental rights away.
Yeah.
The guy offers him. He goes, "Hey, come over here. I want you to see something." And he points down there, and there's a brand new, like, big rig, top of the line semi truck. He goes, "It's yours, and here's a check for $500,000." He just tells it to basically like fuck off and stay out of my life.
Yeah.
Which a little surprised he didn't just say, "All right."
Well, you took the first deal. You think you'd take that deal?
Yeah, you already like said like I'll stay out of the kid's life.
It's like
he's changing his mind when the deal gets better.
I guess that's part of the deep meaning.
I guess
the bond is growing. Yeah. And he wants the kid.
Yep. And then the guy tries to get in his way, and
that's Terry Funk. Yeah, he
just
uppercuts him through a fucking glass window.
Walks over him.
And then we're getting towards the big finale. I believe he made the final four.
Yeah.
And who was it that he fought?
I can't remember his name, but it's like
the black guy who from the Teamsters Union or something.
Yeah, and like they're having a hard time getting the thing started, and like the ref says go, and he just like straight just pounds him real quick, and the guy's all pissed off.
Oh yeah,
he wasn't ready.
And then he gets to the final against a giant man who there's no chance he would beat this guy.
Yeah.
What was his name? Bull Hurley.
Yeah. I think he was an actual arm wrestler.
That dude was fucking huge.
Yeah. Great mustache.
Great stash. I looked him up he died pretty young, 53 years old. But
heart disease?
I think so.
I read that, I think it was him. He wasn't bald before that movie. They paid him $10,000 to shave his head, and he said it looked so good he just never grew hair.
He looks like he needs to be bald. I can't imagine that dude with hair. Yeah, he was a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said he had like 100 pounds on Lincoln Hog. I mean, you're not gonna beat a guy. You're just not.
I don't know. Lincoln had that that little move where he got
over the top. Yeah.
Like he moved his hand and it was over the top.
I need to remember that move. See if would it really work?
I mean, if I'm arm wrestling my kids, it might work.
You're starting to struggle.
Still a might. Oh man. Oh. That's pretty much. I mean, that's like sort of the end of it, really. I mean, he beats him, and then like.
I guess the thing I always think about with this movie is the hat. He always had the hat, and he said when he turns it around, it's like a light switch goes on, and he becomes stronger.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm drunk in arm wrestling and I have a hat, I usually turn mine around. It's business time.
I'm gonna wear a hat to the draft, and then right before it starts, I'm turning around.
Yeah, when you're on the clock.
Yes. And then as soon as my pick's in, like I'm flipping it back around.
You're round 16, you turn it back around to draft a kicker.
Yep. Oh man.
But yeah, that is pretty much it. He wins the big, somehow beats this giant man after actually a great arm wrestling scene. It took quite a while, back and forth. But also what confused me is all the evilness just left the grandpa after seeing, and all of a sudden he's like, okay, I'll let the kid go. After seeing Lincoln win an arm wrestling tournament, all that hate that he had, sending goons after him, he just let it go.
All these like movies and shows and things, like the rich people, like they all have like goons and people. Like
we need
do
goons.
This shit. Like, I guess it's probably naive of me to think that this doesn't go on in the real world, but Jesus, like really? Like if you just have enough money, that's just what happens. You just
hire some big dudes.
Just hire some big dudes. You just got people on the payroll to kick other people's ass.
That's when you know you made it in life. If you could hire a couple goons.
I don't know, man. Minimum wage is pretty up there now.
Oh, but yeah, so they ride off into the sunset with their awesome new truck.
Yeah, new truck.
Puts the Lincoln Hawk emblem.
Puts the hawk on it. His son.
I don't know if they're just living out of that truck. No.
Now they're living under a bridge somewhere in that truck. Now his son he goes, well, we should just start our own trucking company. We can call it Sun and Hawk.
Yeah. I did see that kid and Sly both got nominated for Razzies.
Yeah.
As like worst acting. I didn't think Sly's acting was any different than his normal, but
no.
Overall, I enjoyed it. I liked that movie. It's just a nostalgia movie too.
I didn't not like it. Like it wasn't like I thought it was a bad movie. It was a good movie. It really wasn't what I expected. I guess when I thought of it being like over the top and like being an arm wrestling movie,
there was really
I didn't know that there was this whole like family emotional storyline behind it.
Yeah.
Like I really thought it was just going to be like an hour and a half
bar to bar
arm wrestling, like bar fights.
Yeah, there really wasn't hardly. There was a couple fights, fist fights, I guess, but not many for like a normal Stallone movie. Worth a watch.
Yeah, it was all right. Like, it was pretty good. I think I would have preferred it being though like just an all out like arm wrestling circuit, like seedy towns. Little
toothless
underbelly.
Dude.
Yeah.
You mean kind of like No Holds Barred?
Yeah. Mash these things together. I was watching the beginning of it and I was thinking like, what if the kid, now the name doesn't match up, but like what if it was like this was the origin story of Rambo. Like he's at military school. His dad didn't know his dad. You know.
No way Kid Rambo would be that big of a pussy.
You learn that pretty quick.
As Mike Hawk.
Yeah. Yes. Mike Hawk is not John Rambo.
No.
I guess, all right, so like I said, they had a real tournament.
Yeah.
And the guy who won it was this guy that was like the real life arm wrestler who inspired Hawk's character.
Do you know his name? Because
I didn't write it down, but he won it, and the prize for the actual tournament was the truck.
Oh, really?
And he drove that truck all over the U.S. promoting the movie, and then when he was done, he sold it and bought a Corvette.
Really?
We sure it's not Asher?
Yeah, that sounds a lot like Ash. I'm trying to. I wonder if this guy's name. There's a documentary called Pulling John, which kind of sounds like a gay porn, but it's not.
Documentary, sure.
John Brezink.
It might have been it.
He was like the dude, and it follows. I watched this Drunk with Asher once, and it was awesome. It's a documentary, and it was him traveling, and he always won, but he finally met his match to a younger guy, and that younger guy is the Bears' backup quarterback's dad.
Oh,
Bajent. It's kind of sad. Like Pulling John, it was. He realized that his time is over, and this new young guy.
Even having heard that Bajent story, like it would never have crossed my mind that like arm wrestling was like an actual, like a thing. like a big time thing.
And I think there is like more technique to that than you think. It's like
probably
because that Bajan's dad. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's big and strong, but like he goes against guys that are a lot bigger, and he's still just yeah. I don't know.
Not a lot else on the movie that I saw.
No, it was.
I did see that like.
Yeah, I actually tried to look too this time, and I just found that it got nominated for some Razzies.
Yeah.
But
Don Johnson was like the original thought for Hawk.
He's not a tough guy, is he?
No, he's not a tough guy.
Yeah.
He's more of like a suave. Miami Vice
type. That's what. Why was that the thought?
I don't know, but luckily
that would have been awful.
Yeah, luckily they didn't.
Yeah, no.
I guess the writer, I guess the script was changed like after the writer sold it to him, and he was pretty unhappy with how it turned out. He didn't say a whole lot on it. He said that like the way he had it, I think it was more arm wrestling and a little more
like you wanted.
Yeah. So
maybe
I was a writer. I don't know.
I saw it pulled in $16 million or something. I
didn't see any of that stuff.
I saw it. They said that it did actually better than they thought. It was against movies like Platoon.
Oh.
And another. Well, no, I can't remember the other one, but it was a pretty good year for movies, and they said it held up pretty good in theaters. But
we don't get years of movies like that anymore.
No. Or maybe we just don't realize it.
Maybe in 20 years from now, somebody will be doing a podcast about the movies that came out now.
Maybe it's us.
We're still sitting down here.
Our 10 listeners.
Yeah.